February 10th, 2023 is now called to order. Andrea, would you please call the roll?
Good evening, everyone. It is now 5:17 p.m. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Turner. Present. Ms. Stevens. Present. Ms. Simon is absent. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Present.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Mr. Tuma.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Conwell is absent. Council President Jones.
Here.
You have a quorum.
All right. And Andrea, would you please excuse Councilwoman Sunny Simon and Councilwoman,
Yvonne Conwell.
oh, thank you.
May we have a motion in a second, please?
I so move.
Second.
Thank you.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Our colleagues are excused. At this time, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Andrea, has anyone signed in for public comment?
We have two speakers, yes. Larry Rodriguez.
Hello there, this is Mr. Rodriguez. I'm making a comment about funding for GCRTA. I believe that you guys are using the funds from the casino, the sales tax from the casino for the jail, but it should be using for public transit, not for the jail, you know. I believe that those funds are needed to buy more new buses, and we need a better rapid system, better trains and whatnot. And I think that we should allocate those funds for the sales tax funds to the public transit system. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lou.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Well, glad to attend the first regular meeting of the year. I think all of you have received my email, actually multiple emails, but the one you received yesterday will actually show you the current status of the shelter building. Now, the ones you received earlier, especially Mr. Ronay and Mr. Kelly, you received my public comments back even in 2019 when I mentioned the shelter building condition. At that time, I was talking about bathroom. So in this particular email, you will see the PDF showing you I did introduce the 68-year-old retiree currently staying at the shelter in the so-called quiet room. Her name, if you don't remember, let me remind you, Virginia Alberino. The photo you will see first is in the room she actually has to stay right now. You can see all the leaking spots still on the ceiling, and these are actually newer ones because the tiles did get replaced. So some of the older broken tiles, they were not there anymore. And you can see the density of the beds. That's the reason why you have heard me complaining about the density of the shelter. I said that the concentration was not real because even you move half of the people out of the building itself, people are still squeezed into all these dormitories to sleep. Our sleep arrangement did not really get spread out throughout the building. So it's equal to no deconcentration. So in these photos, you can see that. And the following photo, you can see the bathroom issues, okay, from don't even say the 2010 renovation, just say 2016. You have heard me talking about that even till today. This will show you, just the past Saturday, I took the photo. These panels, these doors and the panels, I told you during the lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown, they actually closed the limited bathrooms to renovate, to do constructions. So in this case, even till today, 2022, 2023, these panels still are not aligned properly, and there's changes. I show you in 2 different bathrooms, 3 different tallest doors, but each day may not be the same door getting jammed. You cannot close it, you cannot open it, doing this and that. This is the reason why I really wish 2100 main building and the Hale both can be demolished and to rebuild. Because old offices buildings and industrial buildings, they were not designed for this kind of services. This is the reason why when you have these flaws already there, historically bothering the people, then you have the workers there not really helping people out. This is a low barrier shelter. So you have to use the restroom, you cannot even close. Where's the human decency here? Should we really offer service this way? This is a disgrace of the county. So please, we need to work on it, correct it. Demolish the buildings to rebuild. Renovation will not help. Thank you.
That concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
All right, thank you, Andrea. Can we have a motion to approve our minutes as presented on today's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This time, announcements from our messages from our county executive.
Thank you, Council President, members of council. I wanted to continue my attitude of gratitude with you about supporting this transition. It continues to be educative. I appreciate each and every one of you for helping us onboard the beginnings of a new administration as we hire and helping people get oriented. I just wanted to say what I said last week is I appreciate what you've all been doing to help us get up to speed. I feel a partnership and a team with you and look forward to working further with you in the future. I'll be very brief about a couple of items that are on my radar, and they aren't unfamiliar to general public as I spent a lot of time last year talking about them. I want to work with all of you in no particular order on the following issues from the administration. Helping continue to build out our housing initiatives, have had conversations internally with our Department of Development and a couple of you about making sure that we prioritize housing in this county, from the unhoused to those in need of affordable housing to providing middle market housing, and also making our housing stock competitive, whether it's for sustainable purposes or just simply trying to keep it fiscally manageable for our families, for our residents, for our seniors. So housing will be continuing to be a high priority of this administration going ahead. Transportation, augmenting some of what is in the wheelhouse of the RTA, and not to supplant what the RTA does, but to help our residents with what we loosely call final mile travel, making sure that people are able to get to their doctors, to their grocery stores, to their appointments, to work. For the more than 10% of Cuyahoga County residents who don't drive automobiles, that are driver eligible but don't drive single occupancy vehicles, we want to make sure that we're providing appropriate transportation options, and I want to work with you more on transportation advocacy. We are going to continue to lean in on workforce development. We've had meetings with the Director of Workforce and want to make sure that our citizenry that is work eligible is work ready with the tools that they need to be prepared for today and tomorrow's jobs. I want to work with you on making sure that this government is as modern, as efficient, as effective as it can be. I carry the charter with me, especially these first few weeks, referring to it regularly, but knowing what it says and what it says in the preamble, that we need to be a modern, effective, efficient government. In my first rounds with our staff from the first floor up and from the buildings outside of this building, I feel that there's a very diligent team of people working to create effective and efficient services. So this may be working on systems evolution, but working from a good baseline. Specifically, I'm going to want to continue to work with you on the prospect of an ombudsman's office. That is, in the more distant past, something we had at Cuyahoga County in the past. It would be potentially an initiative that would be of benefit, I hope, both to, well, first and foremost to our citizens, but as an augmentation to what council and the administration could do to better deliver efficient and effective service and make sure that our responsiveness is there for our citizens. I am also going to continue to work with you on the pressing priorities of justice in our jail, and I'm going to continue to work with you on the pressing priorities of our Department of Children and Family Services, and thinking with you how we effectively create a system of justice that is just that, is just, and also that are working with our sheriff and others and yourselves, making sure that we are ready for modern facilities when we do need to detain persons. But there's a graduated system that I want to work on, that entire network, such that where appropriate, people are back in their communities and with their families faster. And on the Department of Children and Family Services, we're going to continue to work with you to remedy some of the things that we see right now as tender for the county when it comes to things over at Jane Edna Hunter and others. And it's complicated. We know that, and we know we've got a diligent group of people working on it, but need to continue to lean in and provide the best services we can for those most in need. I also want to say, finally, I want to prioritize early intervention on youth, paths that are taking youth down pathways where they don't want to end up in the criminal justice system, and work with you on youth intervention and youth opportunities. So all that being said, that's just the tip of our iceberg, but it's a lot of work to get started on in this new year, 2023. Appreciate, again, full circle, the council's great support in our transition. I appreciate the team at Cuyahoga County here in this building and beyond, and the administration and council staff and administration staff for what you're doing. Most of all, just looking out at the citizens, thank you for your ongoing advice, input, and on occasion prayers. We appreciate it. We're in this together. Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
All right, thank you, County Executive. All right, to my colleagues, if you have not seen as of yet, I have sent out an email to each of you with our committee assignments for 2023, 2024. Again, take the time to review that to see any changes to your previous committee assignments. All right, at this time, legislation introduced by council. Consideration of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2023-0002, awarding a total sum not to exceed $360,000 for the Cuyahoga County Community Development Fund to the Cleveland Cultural Gardens Federation for the maintenance and upgrades for the Cleveland Cultural Gardens located in the city of Cleveland.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2023-0003, awarding a total sum not to exceed $300,000 to the Association of African American Cultural Gardens for the African American Cultural Garden Monument Project from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2023-0004, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County Non-Bargaining Classification Plan.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources, Appointments, and Equity Committee.
Part B, consideration.
Legislation introduced by executive. Consideration of resolution for first reading and referral to committee.
No, Councilman. It's B, consideration of a resolution of council for third reading adoption on page 2.
All right, thank you. Consideration of a resolution of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2022-0416, awarding a total sum not to exceed $250,000 to the Village of Mayfield for the Civic Center ADA and Energy Efficiency Upgrades Project, and it's from the District 6 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this matter was scored by an independent committee of 5 mayors from District 6, and it reached a scoring point where it was successfully recognized and was recommended for approval. The committee itself does not have financial approval, so it has to come before this body, and as we've been directed, and I would wholeheartedly encourage everyone to support this.
All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now, legislation introduced by the executive. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2023-0005, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with the City of Cleveland Heights in the amount not to exceed $600,000 for maintenance and repair of storm and sanitary sewers located in County Sewer District Number 17 for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2023-0006, making an award on requisition 10886 to Terrick Roofing, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,143,276 for the Cuyahoga County Airport Roof Replacement Project.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2023-0007, making an award on requisition 8737 to Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry in the amount not to exceed $735,278 for alternative housing and related support services for COVID recovery for the period July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2023-0008, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Youth Opportunities Unlimited for operation of the Youth Resource Center for the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program, Employment, Education, and Training Services for Young Adults in connection with the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act for the period July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $850,000.
This item will be referred to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee.
Resolution 2023-0009, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Service Express, Inc. for enterprise hardware maintenance and support services at various county locations for the period January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2025, for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $924,426.74.
This item will be referred to the Finance and Budgeting Committee.
Resolution 2023-0010, authorizing a contract with Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1 million for subscription and technical support services for the Geospatial Data Infrastructure Program, effective upon contract signature of all parties for a period of 3 years.
This item will be referred to the Finance and Budgeting Committee.
Resolution 2023-0011, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Applewood Centers, Inc. for secure residential treatment services for the period January 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2022, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2024, to modify the terms effective July 1st, 2022, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,114,826.80.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee.
Resolution 2023-0012, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Applewood Centers, Inc. for emergency respite and crisis bed services for youth, referred by the Coordinated Approach to Misdemeanors, also known as the CALM program, for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2023, to modify the terms effective July 1st, 2022, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $926,647.31.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee.
Resolution 2023-0013, authorizing a contract with United Way of Greater Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $1,220,450 for fiscal agent services and emergency food purchase assistance by hunger centers serving eligible Cuyahoga County residents, and it's for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2023-0014, authorizing to adopt the Child Abuse and Neglect Memorandum of Understanding with Cuyahoga County law enforcement agencies and entities.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2022-0015, authorizing an amendment to a contract with the Salvation Army for supportive services for homeless men in the Pickup Assessment Shelter Service PASS Transitional Housing Program for the period January 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2022, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $794,821.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2023-0016, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for permanent supportive housing services to chronically homeless single adults and higher barrier homeless persons for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2023, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $2 million for the various providers listed on the agenda, A through G.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2023-0017, authorizing a master contract with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $994,088 for rapid rehousing services for homeless families and shelters in connection with the fiscal year 2021 Continuum of Care Homeless Assistance Grant Program for the period June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 2023 for the various providers listed on the agenda, items A through D.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2023-0018, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for short-term emergency childcare for children in the county's custody for the period September 1st, 2022 through July 31st, 2024, to change the scope of services and terms effective upon signature of all parties. No additional funds required for the various providers listed A through D.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee. Consideration of an ordinance for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance 2023-0001, an uncodified ordinance providing for paid emergency administrative leave for county employees and allowing the county executive or his designee to temporarily expand the use of existing paid sick leave and unpaid personal leave of absence.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources, Appointments, and Equity Committee. Miscellaneous committee reports.
Mr. President,
Councilman Miller, you will lead us
my,
off.
my colleagues, in order to work around the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday on this coming Monday, Finance and Budgeting Committee will meet on the following day, on Tuesday, January 17th. We will meet at 2 p.m. Councilman Gallagher informs me that he only needs an hour, and this will allow us not to have a gap between the committee meetings. So we will meet at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Thank you.
All right, any other committee reports?
Mr. President,
Yes.
Public Works will meet at its regularly scheduled time next week. Thank you.
Okay. Safety, Tuesday, 1 o'clock. All right. Any other reports?
Mr. President, Madam Clerk, we talked about the 23rd of January.
Yes.
Was that afternoon time available?
You were going to discuss that with
And I
Council President
forgot to
Jones.
make a call.
Okay, so
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I believe Mr. Schron is not in his usual action. On the 23rd? Yes,
if you could make sure that your microphones are on.
the next Monday, the 23rd.
So that's January 23rd, the fourth Monday of the month.
That is correct. And could we use the afternoon meeting time?
Is the majority of your committee here today?
I don't have the new names memorized, I'm sorry.
All right. I have no complaints, so at this moment, for those that are here, we're okay. January
you.
23rd. Okay, any other committee reports? All right, if not, any miscellaneous business?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Brendan Doyle's leaving. I want to give him a shout out. Am I allowed to?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Brendan, I want to thank you for one of our staff workers, whoever's watching. You put up with me for 2 years. I appreciate that. You're always professional. Our loss is their gain, and I just wish you well. And on a second one is, I've talked to the county executive at length about Metro, and we talked about his high priorities. He committed to me that he's going to work with us, our council, to make sure we can regain some, not trust, but confidence with how Metro's going. So I just wanted to share that and thank him for letting me come as a partnership to try to take care of that. So thank you, Mr. President.
Any other councilman?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, just regarding the new county executive's comments, I just want to say in a opening of the new year, I think it's a lot of those various topics that you mentioned. I think you have eyes and ears open, fresh start from council members, and we look forward to trying to resolve some of these issues together with the new county executive and in a era of cooperation here. Hopefully, we can get some of these things done. These are some major issues that are out there still, and look forward to working with the new county executive on these issues.
Thank you, Councilman. Agreed.
All right, if there's no further comment, no other miscellaneous business, and if nothing else holds